Enoch Stevenson, a owner of Chakra Rebel Music who organizes tours and shows around the U.S. Thank you for being on our show, Enoch.
Thank you for having me.
And our first questions from people who mailed us. And our first questions are Rebecca. And she would like to know, were there any other career paths you thought you were going to take? If so, why?
I thought I was going to take the counseling path as far as being a counselor in elementary schools, or middle schools, or high schools. But I decided to go the music way and still get my degree, still get my diploma, still get my degree in college. But I decided to go musically instead of being a teacher or a counselor.
What helped you reach your goal to being a musician?
What helped me reach my goal was to focus on myself and get the music together, make sure I had confidence in myself, number one, make sure I had all my business aspects together, and make sure I had a goal. That's what made me that's what put me on the path, is having a goal, knowing what I want to do and when I wanted to do it.
Okay. Were there any other problems you had to face?
Yeah, a lot of rejections, like, this song is not good, or we can't have a show here at this location because of things that's happening. And it was a lot of hurdles. With music, it's a lot of hurdles that you have to jump over and get through just to get to your goal. So that was one of the things, many things that kind of, the goals that I had to accomplish or to jump over.
Okay. Rebecca's last question were what were some of your bad times and good times in school?
The good times is going on tour, meeting all type of different people, eating different type of foods. The bad thing is coming off tour because you miss the tour life. You miss being on the road and hanging out and just making sure everyone is smiling during your performance. So that's one of the bad things, is just coming off tour. And that's one of the downers.
Okay. One of our second people who mailed us some questions about you is David. And he asked, how did you become the owner of Chakra Rebel Music? And why did you choose to make your company?
Good question. Who was that again?
How did you become the owner of Chakra Music LCC? Or did you make it, and why did you choose to make it?
Okay, who sent the question in? What was the name of the person?
David.
David. So that's a good question, David. Thank you for asking that, Isaac. So what made me do Chakra Music was that it was my own endeavor. It was my heart desire. I actually put my own money into do it. I actually spent my own money. I created the business plan, and that's what allowed Chakra Music to be where it's at now. Because I just took my own money and did it. I didn't use bank money. I didn't use record labels money. We used our own money to create Chakra. And the second question was?
How did your family members become musicians?
From birth, since day one. I mean, growing up with grandma and granddad, or my mom and my grandmother, there was always singing in the house. There was always records playing. There was always music going on, from church to the clubs. It was always music going on. So my family played music by ear. Everyone in my family who does play instruments, they play it by ear. They can read music, but they're basically gifted to play it by ear.
Who is your inspiration?
My inspiration would be just going out in nature, or going outside, taking the train, taking the bus, being around friends. That's more so, and family, that's more so an inspiration to write and to continue on to do music, because music, everyone loves music. You just gotta find the right one and the right person who loves a different type of music that you're doing. So yeah, that's one of my inspirations.
That's all his questions from David.
Thanks a lot, David.
Our next person is Daniel. And he asks, what inspired you to follow the Chakra Music?
The Chakra Music path, what made me follow that, this is my own company. I own it. I operate it, or we own it, we operate it, and it's ours. If it's always yours, if it's something that's yours, you're going to cherish it more than something that's given to you. So I earned it, I worked for it. So that's what made me stay on the path of Chakra Music, with the artists that we have on the label, with the tours that we want to do, with the content that we want to share. It's all ours. No one owns it but us. So that's what makes me stay on that path.
What was the disadvantages of it?
Disadvantages was maybe not a lot of people understanding what chakras are and what they do, and making sure they pronounce it correctly. Like you did in the beginning, you pronounced the label correctly. Making sure it's spelled correctly. Those are one of the downfalls, or just one of the downfalls that I may come across. But that's about it. People just want to know what is chakra music and what are we doing with the music.
Why did you choose chakra music for the television?
Great. That's a great follow-up. I chose chakra music because we deal with energy. Chakras is just dealing with it's just dealing with energies. Chakras are dealing with the colors. Chakras are dealing with vibration. So if you're listening to your favorite music or your favorite artist and you're dancing, you're smiling, you're having fun, they're actually touching one of your happy points. And if you listen to some music that makes you sad, they're actually touching one of your sad points. So that's why we created chakra music, because we want to deal with certain people's vibration, sad, happy, joyful. You experience all of this music at the same time, and you have one place to come to.
So that's all his questions, basically 2 questions.
Okay.
And
thank you for your question, Daniel.
Mr. Enoch, can you perform some of your music for us?
Yes. Actually, what I want to do is explain a couple of things. So in 2017, I was introduced to a young lady. She was in elementary school. She was a 6th grader, going on 7th grade, I believe. And she wanted to write something about, she understood that there was a lot of bullying going on in her elementary school. She wanted to write a song about it. So I actually had to sit down and sit with a 6th grader and figure out what her ideas were talking about bullies. And I had to write it from her perspective, not mine. I'm a grown up, she's a growing young lady, so I had to actually write it from a 6th grader's point of view, okay? So, and she was gonna go to the studio and record it as well. So the song is called Bully. And that was the title of the song was called Bully. So I'm just gonna read it out, but try to do it in a rhythmic pattern in which I wanted her to do it. All right, so the song says, and I'm gonna read them so everyone can listen to what I'm saying. It says, I knew this girl got bullied every day. Didn't say nothing, just too much afraid. Got pushed off the swings one day. She laid there crying, teased and called names. Ugly, fatso was the bully game. No name brand shoes and clothes. She was put to shame. Ain't that a shame? The aim is to hurt feelings. Makes me mad and sad. I really hate bullies. So the hook or the chorus of the song goes, stand up for yourself. Tell a friend, tell a teacher, tell a parent. Stand up for yourself. Tell a teacher, tell a friend, tell a parent. Then it goes into the second verse. It says, the bully's attention is now on a little boy who dressed sort of different. He poked fun at him of his skin color and natural hair, pushed him, shoved him, treated him unfair, got so bad, put dirt in his hair. On the playground they stood there, one crying, one frowning, mean, rude, bad attitude. Bully punched him in his face, then took his shoes. It makes me sad, it makes me mad, I really hate bullies, stand up for yourself. And it goes back into the hook. It says, stand up for yourself, tell a friend, tell a teacher, tell a parent. Stand up for yourself, tell a friend, tell a teacher, tell a parent. So actually I wrote it in the midst of a 6th grader. Not in my own eyes and not in my own feelings. So I just took what she was telling me, that she was getting bullied in school, and I took that idea and concept and wrote a song for her. And she went to the studio to actually record it and make it her own. So that's the song. The song is called Bully. And so I wrote that for her. So that's a piece that I wrote, and I wanted to share that because it makes a lot of sense now into where, high schools, on the internet, elementary schools, there's a lot of bullies out there, and I went and she wanted to address the bully and let the person who's being bullied not be afraid to tell a parent, tell a friend, and tell a counselor, whoever's around, an adult. so they can straighten those things out and make sure that they're not getting bullied.
It's a big song.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us on ArtsEnPower.
Thank you for having me, Isaac. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you know in 2015, Enoch appeared on the Sway in the Morning Show? Did you know when he was 12, Enoch was the youngest percussionist in a Washington, D.C. based gospel group? Did you know that before iTunes and Rhapsody, Enoch was a leader of the grassroots movement?